داخل القلب حبك في الفؤاد استبان من قبل بلقيس والراء والعظيمة سبان أم اليمن أمي في داخل القلب حبك في الفؤاد استبان من قبل بلقيس والراء والعظيمة سبان يا كاتب التاريخ سجل بكل توضيح يا كاتب التاريخ سجل بكل توضيح انت الاصل والفصل والروح والفن من يشبهك من يشبهك من
يشبهك من يشبهك من
يا قحطان يا نسل عدنان يا قحطان يا نسل عدنان عيني على كل من حلت قليب اليمن عيني على كل من يهوى ربوع اليمن يا قحطان يا نسل عدنان يا قحطان يا نسل عدنان عيني على كل من حلت قليب اليمن عيني على كل من يهوى ربوع اليمن يا قحطان يا نسل عدنان يا قحطان يا نسل عدنان عيني على كل من حلت قليب اليمن عيني على كل من يهوى ربوع اليمن انت الاصل والفصل والروح والفن من يشبهك من يشبهك من انت الحضارة انت المنارة انت الحضارة انت المنارة انت الاصل والفصل والروح والفن من يشبهك من يشبهك من
يشبهك
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my sisters and brothers. Welcome to YAMA's 3rd annual gala. My name is Dr. Debbie Amin-Tasser. I am one of the co-founders of the Yemeni American Merchants Association. Welcome. We are so delighted to have you this evening with us at our virtual gala. and also at our office where we are doing all of the awards. I'm going to pass it over to my dear brother, Abdessalam Abadiz, who is YAMA's president, to welcome you, and then I will be back to introduce our MCs.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be upon you all. My name is Abdul Mubarak. I'm the president of Yemeni American Association. It is an honor for me to welcome everyone that is participating and seeing and working with our organization, and also seeing what we did for the last 3 years for the Yemeni American merchants, and also doing the work that helps our community to empower themselves and serve the communities of New York. It is an honor for me to welcome you to this event, the 3rd annual event for the Yemeni American Merchant Association. It's an honor also for me to welcome and appreciate all the elected officials that are participating with us today in celebration of Yemeni American Merchant Association. And also it's an honor for me to congratulate all those who helped the Yemeni American Association and served the communities of New York City. Yemeni American Association has been doing a lot of work for the community. And during this last year, where the COVID-19, as you all know, basically stopped everything in the city, and our community and our merchants in New York were serving the community. And every day during the crisis of the COVID-19. But also, we want to thank all the frontline workers of New York City, the police officers, the nurses, the firefighters, and everyone that helped New Yorkers, to get over this COVID-19, and hopefully it's going to end up soon. I thank you very much for doing all the great work for the city, and thank you to all the elected officials. And I know there's so many elected officials, I can't call them by name, but it's an honor and pleasure for me to welcome you to this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brother Abdessalam. It is my honor and privilege again to welcome you all to the Yemeni American Merchants Association Gala, the 3rd annual gala. We are so excited. As you all know, this gala is really celebrating our frontline workers. We titled it Frontline Workers, Heroes on the Front Line, Yemeni Americans Serving with Compassion. We're so delighted to be honoring so many amazing brothers and sisters for this incredible opportunity of service that they have shown through thick and thin. This past year has been really devastating for so many of us, and we wanted to celebrate our community for all that they have done, giving back to society. So tonight, our program is going to be emceed by 2 of the Yemeni American community's brightest and finest, Maali Luqman, who is a fellow with the W.K. Kellogg Foundation and Center for Creative Leadership's Community Leadership Network, a fellowship centered around children, community leadership, diversity, equity, and inclusion. As a community leader, she is also one of the nationwide Legacy City Fellows. She served as a district associate dean at the largest community college district in Michigan and a teacher throughout Michigan and abroad. She secured nearly 7,000 votes during her candidacy for Dearborn Public Schools and for Henry College Board of Education, and currently serves as a member of the college's Board of Trustees Ad Hoc Committee. Maali, you better run again, girl. I'm waiting for you. We're going to make sure you get in there. Maali also served as an educator for 17 years, beginning as a youth leader, paraprofessional, and a secretary as she completed her teacher training. She has worked on all levels of education in mainstream ESL and special needs classrooms as an administrator overseeing college operations. Maali completed her bachelor's degree in education with concentrations in math and ESL at the University of Michigan. After being in the classroom for 14 years, she transitioned to a policy-related field, pursuing a master's degree in international relations at Harvard University and earning the Dean's Academic Achievement Award, mashallah. Maali participated in service and research trips to Palestine and Senegal, visiting schools and producing several documentaries of each research trip, including Exploring Senegal, featured on Harvard Summer School's Study Abroad website, reeling in 71,000 views. Her graduate thesis on the impact of political rhetoric on marginalized communities was awarded the Director's Prize for Outstanding Thesis in International Relations and has been published into a book, mashallah. She mentors college students as a way of paying it forward, and advises young people, young men and women on their educational journeys towards their career paths through regular community engagement and speaking events. She is passionate about education as a tool of empowerment and social progress, eager to ensure access to equitable opportunities to education for the generations to come. Our next MC is no stranger to New York City and no stranger to the Yemeni American Merchants Association, our beloved former executive director, Ibrahim Ayyash, who is now serving his first term in Michigan House of Representatives, the son of Yemeni immigrants. Abraham Ayyash grew up in a working class family where his father, a UWA member, and his mother, a homemaker, raised their children in Hamtramck. He now represents the 4th district, encompassing his hometown of Hamtramck and surrounding parts of Detroit, advocating for progressive solutions and justice for his community. His political activism began as a community organizer for President Obama's historic campaign in 2008. As a young man, he found his strength in mobilizing his community by amplifying a united voice against systemic problems. Ayyash received his bachelor's degree from Michigan State University in political theory and constitutional democracy. During his time, he co-founded a nonprofit that mentored refugee children in the Lansing area. Ayyash was first exposed to legislative work when he served under State Representative Rosemary Robinson. He worked to engage the community to fight back against a corporation from expanding a toxic waste site on the Hamtramck-Detroit border. Recognizing the environmental injustice his community faced, Ayyash frequently organized against corporate polluters and jump-started a recycling program in his local school district. He's realized that the power is driven by the movement started in communities and hopes to embody those values on the House floor. As a statewide training and political leadership director at Michigan United, Ayyash trained political leaders and informed progressive solutions for education, healthcare, immigration, criminal justice, and environmental racism. His professional career is rooted in the community efforts that developed his political interest. As a legislator, he hopes to redefine the role of elected officials as he champions solutions on the state level that address social and health disparities in poor and working class communities. He plans to translate his community organizing experience into legislation as he works alongside community activists to ensure that their voices are heard in the creation of state policies. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Ibrahim Ayyash and Maali Luqman, our co-MCs for tonight's virtual gala.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for the introduction, Dr. Debbie Al-Muntasir. And it's great to see everyone here joining us today. I'm so honored to be a part of such a great initiative. So I wanted to talk a little bit about education and my passion for education before having Brother Ibrahim take over. So as Dr. Debbie mentioned, I have a background in education. I was a teacher for a number of years. I was a parapro. I ran for school board. And I am so proud to see that even with this pandemic and the lockdown and all of the challenges that our youth are currently navigating, we still have so many students doing so well. We still have students who are thriving and excelling. And to see the students receiving awards, scholarship awards today is absolutely amazing. I mean, I know when we were younger and we were going through school, we faced different challenges. But when I see the youth today and the way they're able to bounce back from the way our world came to a complete halt and still be driven enough to focus on their education, although they're all or most of them are online, it's just absolutely inspiring. Education, as we all know, is extremely important. It transforms worlds, it transforms lives, it transforms families, communities, countries. It really is the hope for everyone's future, as cliche as that sounds. We've seen it time and time again, open up doors and opportunities for people that come from all sorts of backgrounds, from people who have faced difficult and challenging times. We've seen the power of education and how it can transform communities, cities, and the world. So I'm very, very honored to be part of this gala tonight and to be recognizing and acknowledging the students that have earned scholarship awards. Brother Ibrahim, do you want to go ahead and step in?
Yeah, thank you so much, Mahdi. It is so good to be back here at YAMA. Like I did last year, I bring you greetings from Detroit. What up, though? And I'm excited to be here with all of you at YAMA. And it's hard to believe that it's been 4 years since the organization was founded. And in those 4 years, so much has happened. You know, you look at what the whole goal of YAMA was. It was to empower the Yemeni community right after the heinous travel ban that was enacted by President Trump. And 4 years later, my oh my, things have changed. We now have a new president who's publicly committed to stand up for the rights of Yemenis abroad and the Yemeni Americans here in the United States. And in the past year, we saw such a huge uprising due to racial justice. We saw the very tensions that have and that had been so plagued in the United States with anti-Black racism. And we saw a pandemic that changed so much of our day-to-day life all across the United States and all across the world. And this year, we are honoring the very people who are on the front lines and are often overlooked. Yes, we are so incredibly thankful for our healthcare workers, but we're also thankful for all of the men and women who worked so hard to make sure that neighborhoods had food to be able to purchase, that folks had toilet paper, sanitizer, soap, gloves, and anything you can think of. Most in New York that are run by Yemeni Americans. So today we are honoring their legacy. We're honoring the work of so many incredible Yemenis across all 5 boroughs who have done the work of making sure that communities have what they need. And it's organizations like YAMA who ensure that that work is well organized, that that work is definitely impacting our communities. And more importantly, we saw what YAMA did over the past year. You know, I had a short stint as executive director, but I can tell you that the incredible work we did around immigration, building up an immigration program, just in time for the Biden administration. We saw historic ability for us to reach folks during the census, despite a pandemic that locked everybody in their homes. We delivered thousands and thousands of PPE supplies for bodega workers all across the city. And now we are making sure that folks are getting vaccinated so that we can begin to go back to a better normal. So with that, I am so thankful for all the work that YAMA has done. And we know that in order for YAMA to continue that work, and I'd like to bring Maali back up here with me, that we want to make sure that you are continuing to invest. This is a community-based organization that is successful only if the community is invested in this work. So we have so many people who have chipped in and stand with YAMA, and we need so many more people from our own community to also step up and support the work of YAMA, and also to hear about what's next. So we have an incredible lineup of elected officials that are here to share the message of honoring our frontline workers, those in our bodegas, and making sure that they recognize the value and impact of the Yemeni American Merchants Association. So Mahdi, back to you.
Absolutely. So thank you for reminding everyone about all of the work, or telling everyone all the work that YAMA is doing. I do want to bring to your attention that on the bottom of the screen, there are links. There's information about how you can contribute and donate. So throughout the entire event, if you feel like you are moved and you want to contribute to this, then please do not hesitate. There are links. You can donate through Zelle, PayPal. I believe Venmo is also listed. All of that information is on the bottom of the screen, and it's going to continue to scroll through. So we are going to be breaking in about 10 minutes for Lost and Live. But during that time, we will go through and share some of the elected official videos. So please hang in there for that. So I'm really excited. Again, we were talking about education. I'm really excited to be a part of this because I noticed that we have 10 students that are receiving scholarship awards today. So this gala is honoring the frontline workers, but we also want to remember that teachers and educators have also been contributing a lot during the pandemic. So as I was running for school board, I remember I had a lot of teachers and educators reaching out to me. I had a lot of students reaching out to me, expressing how difficult this time was for them to be under lockdown, and to see that the teachers were still pulling through was absolutely inspiring and motivating. So I do want to keep them in mind as well. And I do want to give extra credit to the students that were able to earn scholarships this year, considering the obstacles they were up against.
Yeah, and you know what, Mahali, to your point, we saw people take on roles that we would have never imagined here during this pandemic. You know, folks were closing down their small businesses, but some of the Yemeni communities tried to stay open to serve the community, but also make sure that they were adapting to this new normal. Some folks live in small apartments and were having their kids go to school virtually, and they still made sure to take the time to ensure that the supplies that their local communities needed were available. And then we saw in the middle of this pandemic, the disease that's plagued America for so long, after the injustice that the world saw on notice with George Floyd. And, you know, the Yemeni community also recognized the value of standing up for racial justice and making sure that we are being mindful and considerate of the communities in which we service. So it's so heartening to see, whether you're in the Bronx, whether you're in Brooklyn, here in Bay Ridge, or anywhere in Manhattan and Queens, you see Yemeni Americans making an honest effort to connect with their community beyond the simple transactions of making money at their bodegas. So that is so heartening, and it inspires me because I see the potential of this Yemeni community to build social, cultural, and political power. And this year, they actually launched YAMA Action. So just a couple weeks ago, there was the launch of YAMA Action, Mali, which is a C4 that will help organize politically for the Yemeni American community. And this will be the new wing for YAMA, which is very exciting and quite an incredible time. You know, you mentioned we have a lot of elected officials coming and speaking with us today. We got to recognize the power of that the Yemeni community, in a very busy election here in New York City, there's going to be a whole lot of folks trying to get the attention of the Yemeni community. And because they recognize the power of the merchants, but also the power of just ordinary Yemeni Americans. And to see that in Mali, it's been very heartening. So I'll tell you what, we have a lot of work ahead of us, and it's exciting that there's an organization like YAMA who's leading that charge.
Yeah, it's absolutely inspiring. I'm absolutely super proud of my Yemeni community. And I feel like not just, I'm based in Dearborn, right? So not just in Michigan, right? But even in New York, when we collaborate, I know, again, when I was running for school board, I reached out to some of the Yemenis out in New York, and they were so supportive. And to see the work that they're doing out in New York and how they come together and they offer so much support. I know I went out to New York a couple of years ago for a conference. It was a global conference with the Nobel Peace Prize winner, Tawakkol Karman, and it was it was in one of the universities in New York, and I was hosted by some of the members that are affiliated with YAMA. And they were, talk about Yemen hospitality. They rolled out the red carpet for us. And I think you were there, Abe, right? And they talked about a lot of the work they do there. And they talked about how they come together to support one another whenever there are causes of injustice, whenever there are causes of support. They pull together, and time again, we've seen that in the papers, right? In different magazines where they recognize the Yemeni bodega workers and the Yemeni merchants out there, and how much power they have because of the way they collaborate and they come together. And again, being Yemeni, that's something I take a lot of pride in, because we are a people of community. We're a people of family. We're not so individualistic, and we're starting to see the power of that as we connect nationwide for all of these great causes. So I'm really proud to see that, YAMA is doing a lot of this work, and a lot of the Yemenis out in the area in New York are contributing to that.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we are excited to see that as folks get vaccinated. And just, another plug on that, YAMA is running a vaccination program. So if you are a bodega worker of any age at this point and you want to get vaccinated to make sure that we're slowing down the spread, that we're going to finally eradicate COVID-19, then reach out to YAMA. We have an incredible organizer, Hussam Khalid, who's doing some of this work. So if you just connect with YAMA on Facebook, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, you'd be able to get in touch with the organizers to make sure that you're getting vaccinated. And this is such an important step, because as bodega workers, you're not just someone who gives people their bacon, egg, and cheese and their soda or pop, but you're actually being that person that will lead by example. Folks look to their people that they trust, and there's so many people who respect that legacy at YAMA. So with that, there are people like elected officials, and for an organization just 4 years old to have so much respect and have high regard with those who hold political power is a testament to the work that YAMA has done and YAMA will continue to do. And we have an incredible lineup of folks right now that are going to thank all of the work that we do and really acknowledge the power and the commitment to New York that the Yemeni community has. Starting us off, we actually have the borough president of Manhattan, Gail Brewer. So he's the 27th borough president of Manhattan. So we have a video message from him, and we're going to hear a little bit more about all of the messages from our elected officials as we continue. So if we can cue up the video for Gail, that'd be great.
I'm Gail Brewer, Manhattan Borough President, and I'm really honored to be celebrating Yemeni American merchants. You have definitely been on the front lines all year long. At the height of the pandemic, when everything was shut down, so many of your stores stayed open. I know, because I was in them. You are heroes, everyday acts of heroism. You kept New Yorkers fed. You found us toilet paper, cleaning supplies, and you were a friendly face when we were in isolation. In August 2020, I toured small businesses across Manhattan, and we handed out PPE. In fact, we did it all the time. The small store owners, the deli owners, the bodega owners, the Yemeni American owners, you were always thankful for the PPE, for the gloves, the mask, the sanitizer, because you want to keep your family safe, but more importantly, you also want to keep your employees safe. It was emblematic of the spirit of the Yemeni American merchants that I've witnessed throughout the pandemic, and I'm so happy that you've been coming together to fight for justice, to fight for your rights. We all know that Dr. Debbie is a great leader. And I remember being on the steps of the Brooklyn Borough Hall when you first came together for that rally. It was very, very special and meaningful. Your compassion and perseverance during these challenging times are remarkable. All New Yorkers are grateful. Thank you for your service. I look forward to continuing to support you. God bless.
Thank you for that. It's great to have so many elected officials recognizing the work that they're doing. And I really appreciated hearing President of Gail Brewer's testimony or testimonial about the work YAMA does. Because again, out here in Michigan, like I know from when I visited New York, the work they're doing, but it's just amazing to hear from elected officials that that's being recognized. Next up, we have Senator James Guerin, District 5 in New York.
Hi, this is State Senator Jim Gorin, and I just want to thank the Yemeni American Merchants Association for all the great work it is doing during these difficult times with this pandemic. I also want to say that the essential workers of our society who have been out there every single day, keeping our economy going, have just gone way beyond anything to help us get through this, and I am so grateful. And I'm also very hopeful that we're moving past this pandemic. We're going to be able to reopen our society, and I believe New York State is going to be able to grow economically, and we can all get back to normal lives at some point.
All right. Now we want to introduce the senator that represents where YAMA's office is located in Bay Ridge. Senator Andrew Gutierrez, or Garatis rather.
Hi, good evening. I'm State Senator Andrew Gutierrez, and I want to start by thanking the Yemeni American Merchants Association and for offering my congratulations on 3 years of hosting this gala. As we look back on a tumultuous year, it's imperative that we remember our heroes that have been on the front lines of the COVID crisis and that we honor their contributions to keeping us all safe. I want to offer a deep thank you to those frontline workers of the Yemeni American community for their hard work and perseverance during these very, very difficult times. Our city is only as great as those individuals and groups who serve their communities, and your tireless efforts to help us recover from the pandemic have not gone unnoticed or unappreciated. Your service is truly the lifeblood of this city, and on behalf of all of Southern Brooklyn and the rest of New York, please know that we applaud your incredible work and advocacy that you've dedicated to strengthen the foundation and fabric of our blocks, neighborhoods, and boroughs. New York has benefited greatly from the Yemeni American community's passion for public service and community partnerships. You continue to be an integral part of the cultural fabric that makes life richer for so many New Yorkers across every single neighborhood. You have long exhibited the virtues of resiliency, entrepreneurism, family, and have done commendable work to help our society reach its highest peaks. Over the many years, Yemeni Americans have bravely come to New York in search of the American dream that we all aspire to attain. Your journey and stories have been and will continue to be inspirational to all of us, and the positive contributions you have given to our city have made New York a better place. The Yemeni American Merchant Association has worked hard to build collective power for merchants and the communities they serve in. And I want to give my heartfelt congratulations and thanks to the Yemeni American Merchants Association for this such important work they've done in service to our city. Thank you and have a great evening.
Next up, we have Senator Rachel May, District 53.
Good evening. I am State Senator Rachel May, and I want to congratulate the Yemeni American Merchants Association on your annual gala and to join you in thanking and honoring our heroes on the front lines, because in this last year, this pandemic has brought out a kind of heroism that we haven't seen in a long time. And I know Yemeni Americans have been right there providing services, working in healthcare and food service and all kinds of areas of the economy that have been absolutely essential. I want to mention one in particular whose name is Daoud. He's a student at Lemoyne College here in my district, and my husband is one of his professors and says he's one of the most intelligent, energetic, initiative-filled students he's ever had. And we are very excited that he wants to become a nurse and serve the local population in that way. So to Daoud and to all the Yemeni Americans, congratulations tonight, and thank you for inviting me.
All right. Well, we got Daoud who's gone from one front line, hopefully, to a new front line, from a bodega worker to a nurse. So thank you, Senator May. I'd now like to have the video queue up for Senator Robert Ort from the 62nd District.
Good evening. I'm Senator Rob Ort, and it's my pleasure to extend a warm greeting to everyone attending the third annual Yemeni American Merchants Association Gala this evening. While things look different this year, and many are attending virtually, tonight's gala provides an opportunity to reflect on the past year, to honor the work and contributions of this organization, as well as the communities that you serve. This year's theme, Heroes on the Front Lines, Yemeni Americans Serving Communities with Passion, is so meaningful. It has been over a year since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, which has taken a great social and economic toll on people throughout our state, our nation, and the entire world. When we are faced with great hardship, we are fortunate to see the true resiliency of our communities, and from that often come stories of triumph, courage, and heroism. I want to join the Yemeni American Merchants Association in sharing my deep appreciation for all of those on the front lines who put their neighbors and communities above themselves as we work together to get through this pandemic. This pandemic has shone a light on the sacrifice and dedication of many of the unsung heroes in our communities, the essential workers who show up day in and day out. This past year has presented us with many difficult challenges, but we thank all of our frontline workers who put themselves at risk to help others. Your efforts and commitment are greatly appreciated. Thank you all, and best wishes to the Yemeni American Merchants Association for a successful gala and much continued success on your mission to educate, advocate, and elevate.
Thank you. So far, we've had some great testimonials from all these elected officials. Next up, we have Senator James Sanders, District 10.
Greetings, my friends. I am State Senator James Sanders, Jr., and I'm glad to be here with YAMA. I love this name, the Yemeni American Merchants Association. My friends, not only are we struggling with the crisis in Yemen itself, and I'm very aware, and I send you my love and whatever else I can do about that crisis there. You need only to call upon me. But I am here about the frontline workers that you have produced during this COVID crisis. Now, this COVID crisis has been such where food workers and people who have been around people have been over impacted, and your community is no stranger to this. I appreciate that you have stood strong, and I appreciate it so much that I am here now. I also encourage you to stay in the struggle with the second crisis that we have, the second pandemic, and that is the pandemic that's been 400 years in the making of racism and economic inequality. Stand strong on that one too. We all need to stand together. Benjamin Franklin said it best. He said, if we don't hang together, we will hang separately. We may have come in different boats, but we're all in the same ship. And if it sinks on your part, it's going to sink on my part. Let us all embrace one another and struggle and make sure that none are lost in this twin crisis. I stand with you. I embrace you. Let us struggle together for the beloved community that we need. God bless you all.
All right. So we're gonna wrap this up with two more senators, and then we're gonna take a break from their messages from the elected officials. So we have Senator Luis Sepulveda and Senator Kevin Thomas, and we're gonna play those videos back to back, and then we're gonna introduce our executive director for YAMA. And I'll have Maali do that next.
Hello, I'm New York State Senator Luis Sepulveda, representing the 32nd District in the Bronx. Thank you to the Yemeni American Merchants Association for having me to the third annual Yemeni American Merchants Association Gala. While we can't be together physically, I'm so honored to be part of this event to honor our heroes who have been on the front lines of this pandemic. Today, we commemorate the Yemeni community and their vital contributions to New York City and the Bronx, especially in the midst of a public health crisis. Times have been extremely difficult and challenging for a lot of families this past year, and we pay our deepest gratitude to those who are on the front lines and sacrifice a life to save others. For these heroic acts of kindness, duty, and compassion, it is hard to ever put into words how grateful we truly are, but we celebrate you tonight, those that are with us and those who have tragically left us. I congratulate the Yemeni Association for your important work in advocating for your community and bringing your concerns to the forefront of our awareness. Despite the devastating challenges in your home country of Yemen and the discriminatory policies of the past U.S. presidential administration, you are a role model of resilience and fortitude for all of us. And I look forward to working together in the Bronx and across New York State. Thank you.
Marhaba. This is State Senator Kevin Thomas, and I am proud to congratulate the Yemeni American Merchants Association on the occasion of its third annual gala. The Yemeni American Merchants Association strives to educate and elevate Yemeni Americans and their families through education, civil rights, advocacy, business, and social service support. This year's gala honors our heroes on the front lines. I want to join the Yemeni American Merchants Association in thanking those who are providing essential services during this pandemic. To all our frontline workers, thank you for the sacrifices you make every day, and especially during this trying time. Your dedication, commitment, and courage deserve our deepest gratitude and admiration. I send my best wishes on this very special occasion. Thank you, and God bless.
So next up, we have our Executive Director for YAMA. I am so honored to be able to introduce our sister, Batna, also goes by the name of Yemen, Batna Munassar. She has been a community leader in Florida and New York for over 14 years, guiding electoral and legislative efforts throughout all levels of government. Batna's work has earned her the position of the first Muslim woman state director for a presidential campaign in the history of the United States. When she worked on the Hillary Clinton campaign, she's focused on organizing the Muslim community in New York as well as Florida, collaborating on various philanthropic boards and serving as a senior advisor for Middle Eastern and Asian embassies. I actually met Batna a few years ago at a conference in New York, and I was so honored and humbled to meet her. She is an incredible powerhouse of a woman. I am so proud to call her my Yemeni sister. Welcome. Help me welcome Batna Munassar.
Thank you so much, Mali and Ibrahim. We are honored to have you both MC this event. It means so much to us to have heroes like yourselves push out the initiatives for our community. I would like to start off by presenting YAMA's work. In just a moment, I will be sharing my screen. The Yemeni American Merchant Association, I would like to start off with talking about the wonderful staff. First, Abir, our deputy director, who is the senior of the organization, who's been here since the start. I can't express how much she's done for this organization and how much she continues to do. Bedr is our merchant administrator who does so much work on the grassroots efforts to helping loans, to making sure that the merchants are always engaged on the new, not only loans, but engaging them on different issues that affect the community. We got Naji Sobai, who's also the director of education. He's a teacher by trade and dedicates his life to educating the Yemeni community. We have Amal Abdullah, the immigration caseworker, who is dedicated to bringing families together, with Mohammed, the attorney that's been helping us with our organization. We've got Hussam, who's also the merchant service coordinator. And unfortunately, we don't have a great picture of him, but we're going to be posting that soon. Hannah, who's from our AmeriCorps, Vista, who's been helping us with our communication and our fundraising efforts. Our educational and youth programs. Education at YAMA is a core program for our merchants and their families to encourage the youth to pursue education and college readiness programs, ESL classes, and mentorship programs, and youth podcast training and scholarships. For our advocacy work, the No Muslim Ban Act, the diversity visa winners, as you know, are victims of the No Muslim Ban Act, and the Straw Bill, the voter registration and be counted, ONGS Act, and the signage bill, commercial waste zones, and transforming Don't Trash Bill, the plastic bag bill, which is so important for us in environmental issues, the New York Post boycott, where 2,000 bodegas stopped selling the New York Post, the vaping and the e-cigarette bills, and the menthol and cigarette, and also the declination of the panic button bill. The CUNY Census campaign, in which we were able to register 138,000 American Yemenis, New York City count. The voter registration and the GOTV for 2020, and Yemenis for Black Lives Matters, for bridging the gaps between the Yemeni and the Black community and building a peace within. The live poultry market closure and the state bill, who are forcing to stop the poultry markets from engaging sales. Immigration services, family reunification through immigration services, in which we have a part-time lawyer and gives free services to our community. Pro bono attorneys, in which we have webinars constantly. Free legal representation. The Yemeni community has been the largest group impacted by the Muslim ban. YAMA helps families come together on immigration services, and also immigration caseworkers and consulting attorneys. Our merchant programs are bilingual educational workshops. Education of the first line of merchant services at YAMA regularly holds various bilingual education workshops that tackle small business issues. As you know, we have ran a survey, and there's upcoming information that we would love to show of our work. Our tobacco licensing rehabilitation program and our merchant membership programs. Our women's program, and again, women program, ESL classes only for women, for leadership for workshop and women-led projects. Elevating the Yemeni community cannot be achieved without the women contribution. Therefore, YAMA's ESL classes only for women incorporates a leadership workshop program that educates them on exploring their paths, and designed specifically for Yemeni women. Social services. When it comes to our vulnerable community members, YAMA is always there to help, starting from regular bi-weekly food giveaways and delivery to different locations across New York. Bi-weekly food giveaways and deliveries, cash relief programs, applications assistance, and annual Yemeni parades for culture to bring coming together to celebrate their culture. And YAMA's annual Gala announcement, our merchant membership services. We would like to start a membership services after our survey. We know that the member representation between conflicts and shooting and robbery has been affecting our community. Assisting with permit applications, with small business city violations, ATM World has even gave us an incentive, a 5 cents program, 5 cents discount per ATM transaction with the ATM World, with this membership, with the $250 membership, PP and SBA application support, health insurance application assistant, defend and represent members within the state and city on menthol and vaping products, building department assistant on ongoing issues, customer relations, and self-defense trainings for our merchants, booking consultations and following partners, starting small, think big for all business matters, and application assisting and marketing, NYC small business services, city regulations, contracts, grants, and business consultation with bids. The EBT deny or refusal advocacy application assistance, an online delivery platform from My Bodega Online, as well as DoorDash. This basic membership will help the merchants have resources in which YAMA will provide. Now, for the comprehensive membership, we're looking for the $500. Legal services representing on serious violations, commercial and criminal cases that our merchants have been targeted. Employment, connecting workers and store owners for workforce. YAMA Exchange, buy and sell used equipment or stores. Marketplace incentives like ATM World and Bodega Online and lottery machines. And 5, investing opportunities and learning from the best business opportunities in certain neighborhoods. NYC, NYS certification of tobacco registration and marketing and social media ads training. We're asking you all to become a member, to providing these services for our community, which will not only elevate the community's success in financial, but educational, and promoting an advocacy for the Yemeni community to be a strong, united front. Thank you.
Thank you so much for giving us an overview of all of the great work that YAMA's been doing. It's amazing and so inspiring to see what one organization can accomplish and how many services it can give to the people, as well as the opportunity that it opens for women and immigrants. And, we all know that when you educate women, you educate an entire family. So to know that YAMA is doing such impressive work and they are causing so much positive change is incredible. And thank you so much to Yemen Fitna for leading that effort. I'm super proud to see a sister Yemeni woman doing something so profound. We're going to go back and go through some of the elected official videos, a few more, and then we're going to transition into a song honoring our heroes, frontline heroes. So I'd like to share a message from Assembly Member Natalia Fernandez, District 80.
Hello and good evening. I am State Assemblywoman Natalia Fernandez, representing the 80th Assembly District in the Bronx and the home of Little Yemen. I'm honored to join tonight with the Yemen American Merchant Association to commemorate and thank our essential workers for this past year. This is our first pandemic, first in our lifetimes, and it has not been easy. It has been traumatizing. It has been scary. But our frontline workers, our essential workers, those who have not stopped, those who did not quarantine at home, have made this possible. You've made this journey possible. I thank you for your heroism, for your courage, and for your compassion to make sure that your community was taken care of. When many didn't know what to do and many didn't have the resources, you stayed. And to the volunteers that have aided in every which way, making sure that our food pantries were full, making sure that the food was getting to our community, checking in on our community, we thank you. This will never be forgotten. This experience is something we will never forget, but your service is absolutely something that can never, ever be overlooked. Thank you so much. We really don't know where we may be without your service. God bless you, and know that we will always be behind you in anything that you need. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Robert E. Cornigy Jr. and I'm proud to support YAMA. I'm here to say happy celebration of your 3rd year of service in our community. The Yemeni community changed Brooklyn forever in 2017. The bodega strike did more than just protest the executive order travel ban. It showed that collective action by all our communities is possible. It showed that when one community faces discrimination, we all face discrimination. It showed not just Brooklyn, but the entire world can mount a unified response, and that's very possible. It showed the world we all stand together. African American, Yemeni American, Asian American, we all stand together. Now we face a grave threat. The COVID-19 pandemic has disproportionately impacted the African American community because so many of us are essential workers. The same is true for the Yemeni community, whose merchants serve the community with their businesses. Bodega workers absolutely need and deserve protection. They may not wear medical scrubs, but they're essential to our life in Brooklyn. They need the vaccines, PPEs, and all support that all New Yorkers need to survive this plague. Supporting these small businesses means not just preventing bigotry. We need to provide opportunities. That's why I've been so focused on supporting our neighborhood entrepreneurs. I've introduced dozens of bills to support small businesses, including a recent bill that requires inspections to be written in the language of the business owner. I started the Chamber on the Go initiative, where we brought services and continue to bring services to the businesses to their doorstep. Supporting small business supports the whole community. YAMA has done more than inspire the Yemeni community. It's inspired every community. It's a model for our city and for our country. Inshallah, we will continue to transform the world together.
Hi, I'm Councilman Mark Jonai, representing the 13th Council District in the Bronx. I'm so proud to join the Yemeni American Merchants Association and the Yemeni community at your third annual gala. Small businesses are the cornerstone of our community and the backbone of the city's economy. As the chair of the New York City Council Committee on Small Business, I'm proud of the Yemeni people who are hardworking with wonderful traditions, culture, and strong family values. As the local elected official representing Little Yemen in the Bronx, I want to thank the Yemeni community and so many frontline workers and essential employees for their commitment and perseverance providing the essential services needed to keep the Bronx and this great city running. The contributions you provided, whether food or essentials from your bodegas and groceries to our communities, or just by being there for one another during a tough time, has assisted so many in my district and throughout New York City. Once again, congratulations to the Yemeni American Merchants Association for this wonderful gala, saluting our heroes and sheroes on the front line, and to the Yemeni community, I thank you again for your brave efforts during this crisis and the contributions to our city. Thank you for having me, and God bless you.
Assalamu alaikum. Hi, everybody. I'm Mark Levine, City Council member from Northern Manhattan. And I want to thank all of our frontline heroes for your service to the city over the past year. When many of us had the luxury of working from home, you were out there. You were in bodegas and supermarkets, in healthcare institutions, working in transit, in law enforcement, and so many other arenas, caring for New Yorkers, saving lives, keeping us fed, making it possible for life to go on in the city. And you did it at great risk for yourself. And for that, our city owes you a thank you and a debt of gratitude. So I'm so grateful that tonight YAMA is honoring you, many Americans who've been on the front lines, another incredibly wonderful example of the great work of YAMA and all the leadership who have been such a positive force in this city during this past difficult year and beyond. So shukran jazilan, thank you again, and be safe, everyone.
Hi, I'm Councilmember Ben Kalos. I represent the Upper East Side, East Midtown, East Harlem, and Roosevelt Island. I want to thank your Executive Director and the entire Yemeni American Merchants Association for having me at your third annual gala to honor our city's essential workers. When the coronavirus pandemic struck our city hard, it was our 2.2 million essential workers who kept it running for months in the face of danger. Over the last year, they've truly been heroes, putting their lives on the line each day to serve the people of New York City. Specifically, our bodega owners and workers who do not get nearly enough credit, but who remained accessible and reliable to the public even when the spread of the pandemic was at its worst. While coronavirus has recently highlighted the importance of the work you do, you have always been essential. From the bottom of our hearts, we thank you and appreciate all that you do to keep us on our feet. I'm proud to stand with nonprofits like YAMA, who continue to protect our community alongside these workers by providing safety kits and aid to community members and holding bi-weekly giveaways. My office is here to support you in your mission and to elevate your voices however we can. Thank you and good night.
Thank you to all the elected officials and their support and words of warmth and affirmation during such trying times. So next we're going to kick off Heroes on the Frontline honorees with a beautiful tribute song followed by YAMA board president. And Ibrahim is going to introduce him after we go ahead and listen to this song.
When the night has come on and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see, be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. If the skies that we look upon should tumble and fall, all the mountains should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, I won't cry, oh, shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me, oh, stand by me, stand by, stand by, stand by. Whenever you're in trouble, just stand by me, oh, stand by me. Stand by, stand by, stand by me. If the skies and the mountains crumble to the sea, I'd be there to stand by me. All the world come together, live in harmony. I'll be there to stay. Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Look, we are almost done with the program, and I recognize that we've had a long night so far, but we promise we are getting to the meat of the show. So we have a ceremony that we're gonna to honor our frontline workers, to honor those who worked so hard to make sure that during this pandemic, communities had all the resources that they needed. So now I'd like to queue up the folks at the YAMA headquarters with the president of the organization, Mr. Abdussalam Gadas, to begin the ceremony where we are honoring our frontline workers and the folks that helped make sure that this event was possible. So we have an incredible program. And I just want to quickly announce that we've had such a tremendous showing of support throughout the night. And for those of you that want to see YAMA's work continue, we encourage folks to contribute to the organization so that we can continue the work of educating, elevating, and advocating for the Yemeni American community. Thank you to all of those who have made donations thus far. The information is below. Now I'll pass it to Mr. Mubaraz to begin the honoring our frontline heroes part of the program. So, Abdussalam, over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ibrahim. And right now, I want also to thank some of the community members that basically donated to New Yorkers during the time of the COVID-19. So we have some honorees. We're gonna give them awards today. The first one is gonna be AA Wholesalers. Thank you for donating to New Yorkers. So I wonder if anybody here from, AA Wholesalers, and this is the award for them. Seems like nobody's gonna, they're not here today, but we're gonna send it to them because we're doing this virtually. It's gonna be hard for them to come. So I'm gonna give it to someone else. The second person is gonna be Elk Fruit, and I wanna say thank you for donating to New Yorkers again. And this award is for Elk Fruit. They've been donating a lot of stuff to YAMA and to give to the community. This is the award, and I'm gonna give it to someone here to send it to them. And the third person is he's right here with us, and he's been donating to the community a lot and serving the community of Beirish for a long time, and a person that always served the community. We want to thank you for your donation. And he's a person known to a lot of people in our community. It's a supermarket that basically a lot of our community go to. It's Belady. So I wonder, I mean, if he's here, can you come and take this award from us? Thank you very much for doing what you're doing.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, so this is your award.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, we also have a friend that I know for a long time, and they have poultry chicken all over the state of New York, and especially New York City, and they donated a lot of stuff, during, the bad time, during the COVID, during Ramadan, to New Yorkers, and I'm going to present them with this award. And no one is here, but we're going to send it to them. I'm sure that they're doing the work and doing all the work and the front lines. This is for Saba Live Poultry. So the next person to award is a young Yemeni American that I have the pleasure of knowing him for the last 2 years. He came to America, 2 years or 3 years ago, and I know his father. He's been a hard worker, raising him to basically serve the community. Serving the community always the best thing to do for your community. So I am proud to give this award to this young Yemeni American, Yahya Al-Faqih. Thank you. So this is Yahya Al-Faqih that's been, serving our community for a long time, and hopefully that he's going to continue serving the community for the coming years.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now we have another award. Basically, I think since I came to New York, I always love the food that Yemen Cafe makes. And Yemen Cafe is the first Yemeni American restaurant in New York City. It started in Atlantic Avenue. This is a place that you can't miss, but by not going there and taste the real Yemeni food that being served in that place. They have other branches. We wish them a lot of success, but they do donate to the community. I want to present this award to my good friend, Akram Hatem. Akram Hatem is a person that, he's been working. He's a pilot right now, but he's still working the restaurant. And this is how humble he is. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I don't want to miss no one else, but we have also a young Yemeni American that is very active in education, and I watch him all the time, and I've been seeing him, teaching the Yemeni community, about education during the last year, and I'm proud to give him this award, Nasim Al-Muntasir. Nasim Al-Muntasir. He's a better looking than me, but he's a great guy. Here, Nasim, thank you. We also have, where is it? Okay, what about this? We also have another award to supermarket that a lot of people know, and they've been donated to the community and giving a lot of food and to the community, and also supporting YAMA. And this award is going to go to Key Food. So no one is here from Key Food, but we're gonna send it to them. Thank you very much for, for donating to New Yorkers and to everyone who needs. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mubaraz. We appreciate your leadership here at YAMA, and thank you for honoring the incredible organizations and the community members who have done so much work to make sure that the Yemeni community is uplifted and stays on the front lines for greater justice, for serving our community here in New York. So thank you, Mr. Mubaraz. I'd now like to switch it back to another board member, Dr. Debbie Al-Muntasir, who will recognize another recipient who will be receiving an award virtually. So we have Naji Al-Muntasir, who is a board member for YAMA Action, and Dr. Debbie, who is a board member for YAMA. So we have both of them here. I'm going to pass it back to you all to honor our final awardee, who's actually joining us virtually right now. So Dr. Debbie, take it away.
Thank you so much, Ibrahim. The last and final, and we saved the last for best, is actually for New York Cares. Holly, I'm so glad that you were able to join us. I want to say a little bit about New York Cares and what they did with YAMA. New York Cares came at a time where YAMA was desperately looking for volunteers to help with our food giveaway. As you all remember, last spring, there was such a dire need for food, and we were getting so many donations, but we could not pack the bags. And with New York Cares' help, we were able to get about 20 volunteers that came to YAMA on a weekly basis and helped us pack the weekly food that we were giving out. In addition to that, when we received the funding to buy the PPE materials, the masks, the gloves, and the hand sanitizer, we had to pack over 3,000 safety kits. And once again, New York Cares came to the rescue and provided us with weekly volunteers that came to our office and helped us pack close to 3,000 safety kits that we were able to give out to bodegas. So New York Cares, we are so proud of the partnership that we have with you. We thank you for being a frontline worker and having all of these volunteers come out and provide this service. And so I would love for you, Holly, to say a few words because we really appreciate your partnership and the relationship that we have with you.
Thank you, Dr. Debbie and YAMA. We're so honored to, accept this award and, appreciate our partnership. I think you really spoke to the need we were all seeing in the city, and we were so glad to get connected, to be able to work together, to get that food out, to get those safety kits out. It says New York Cares on the, the statue there, but I would be remiss to not thank our volunteers, our fantastic team leader, Angelo, who was wonderful. I know you guys had some of your own volunteers come in too, and all together, they did such fantastic work. We even saw a lot of those projects had return volunteers. There were some of our really popular projects. So people really loved, being there, working with you, being able to do this for, your community and for the city. So excited that we were able to partner and really excited to see where our partnership can take us next.
You're very welcome. So we will definitely put it in the mail. We'll coordinate with you on where to send it. I want to also take this opportunity to thank all of my friends who have donated. Amelia Adams, I've seen so many people in the chat who are donating. Thank you so much for donating. All of the links for donations are here. Please make your donation, be generous because we really need your support to continue the great work that we're doing. And I want to thank all of you. I want to congratulate all of our honorees that were just awarded. And thanks so much, Holly.
Thank you so much again for having us.
Just having a minute.
All right. So, Maddie, it looks like you are muted, but It's all right. Hey, a year later, we still get frustrated with all of this. So I just wanted to hop in quickly before you introduce the next part of the portion, which is our scholarship awardees, and just take a moment to thank all of the sponsors who helped make this event possible. We're going to put them down below. Incredible community groups and local businesses that helped us out. We want to just put the sponsorship bar underneath here. So many incredible groups. So we have Islamic Relief USA. Thank you so much for the support that you provided us for this gala and YAMA. New York Life, St. Francis College, Fidelis Care, Beledi Market, one of our awardees, Altria, Eternal Hair and Aesthetics, and Merchant World for helping support this event, to support the work of YAMA. Next up, we have our scholarship portion. And to introduce those folks, I'm going to pass it to my sister, Maali Luqman, who I believe now is unmuted. So Maali, are you good to go?
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So congratulations to all the honorees and thank you for your service in honor of YAMA. We are going to have Zainab Zindani. She is a YAMA board member, and Yusuf Mubarak, the Director of Public Relations, do the following scholarships.
Thank you so much, Maali. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Zainab Zindani. Greetings to all of our elected officials, friends, community members, merchants, and scholarship winners today. I am truly honored and privileged to be here with all of you today, for virtually and physically. Today, I have the honor and privilege of presenting the Sharifa Al-Khatib Scholarship, a Yemeni Czech pioneer of our times. Sister Sharifa Al-Khatib was an advocate for Muslim women. She encouraged them to be active in their larger communities and practiced her Islamic traditions while still giving back to others. Her life can be remembered by her leadership, courage, and wisdom she endowed to our beloved Yemeni brothers and sisters while challenging the status quo. She envisioned a more equitable world where sisters had a seat at the table, not by word, but by action. We will honor her legacy today and every day by paying it forward and remembering her contributions to our community. I can't let go of this moment without highlighting some of those accomplishments. She finished high school in 3 years and attended the University of Pennsylvania, from which she received a bachelor's degree in English literature. She received a master's degree in comparative religion from Norwich University in Northfield, Vermont. She was the managing editor of the American Journal of Islamic Social Sciences in the early 1990s. In 1992, she founded the North American Council for Muslim Women and Education and Advocacy Group. She brought in Yemen civil society in America and abroad. She created the Peaceful Families Project, which raised awareness of domestic violence in Muslim communities. She was also the chairwoman of the Muslim Caucus at the United Nations Fourth World Conference on Women in Beijing in 1995. Co-author of the Arab World Notebook, making a school textbook which offered Arabic, part of the language, offering in several high schools in Northern Virginia. And last but not least, our beloved Dr. Debbie Muntasar had the privilege and honor of being mentored by Sister Sharifa Al-Khatib when there were no mentors available at the time. It is my honor to endow the recipients of this year's Sharifa Al-Khatib Scholarship and ask that all of our female candidates today carry her legacy today and every day. Our first recipient of the Sharifa Al-Khatib Scholarship this year will be Lemia Houter. Thank you, sister. Congratulations. Thank you. So much. Our second recipient of the Sharifa Al-Khatib Scholarship this year will be Ala Al-Zindani. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone that has come on today, virtually and physically, to share this time and space with us. We thank you so much for the opportunity to share what we have as a Yemeni community. Next, I will present to you Yusuf Mubarak.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. My name is Yusuf Mubarak. I want to thank you all for joining here virtually, at home, and abroad. So I have the honor of presenting the Naji Daifullah Scholarship Award for our male recipients. Naji Daifullah was a Yemeni migrant to the United States and a union organizer within the United Farm Workers. He was a strike captain during the 1973 group farmer strike, and Daifullah spoke Arabic, English, and Spanish, and it was integral in not only organizing the Yemeni community, but also transcending ethnic and linguistic barriers between workers. In honor of his life and his sacrifice made as a Yemeni American fighting for workers' rights in the 70s, we have named our male scholarship after him. And I now present it to our male recipients who we hope will follow in his footsteps. The first person I want to present the award to is Brother Abdul Wahab Murshid.
There you go.
The next brother is Afif Murshid.
Thank you.
The next brother who you have seen earlier in the night, he's getting awarded twice because he's so good. Yahya Al-Faqih.
انظر إلى هنا. شكرا.
Finally, the last brother who has made a mark on all of us. I know him quite well. He's very popular. And my brother Nasim Al-Muntasir.
Thank you.
Yeah, and one brother who we wanted to honor is Sam Al-Saidi. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it here, but we support you, brother, and hope you do well with the scholarship. Thank you.
Congratulations to all the scholarship recipients. We are so proud of you. We are super proud that you're pursuing an education and you're being role models for other Yemeni American youth. We thank YAMA for making education a priority with these scholarships to cultivate the leadership of Yemeni American youth. Use this opportunity to contribute to next year's scholarships by donating now. Donation information is right on the bottom of the screen. Super easy. You could do it right off of your phone. Again, congratulations.
Thank you, Maali. And again, congratulations to so many young Yemeni Americans who come from largely working class families that are doing the work of supporting their small businesses and supporting their families, but also going to school. So we're hoping that this scholarship would be some support for them. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank another major sponsor for YAMA that helps fund the scholarship program and so many other programs that we're going to show you in a second. So I'd want to thank one of our platinum sponsors, ATM World, for also helping YAMA from the very beginning until now. They have been a constant supporter for this organization in the work to educate, advocate, and elevate here in New York State and all across New York City. So thank you to ATM World for their commitment, continued commitment to YAMA and the work at YAMA. So now we want to show you a video about all of the work and the programs YAMA has. And if there's something that you see that inspires you, you can specifically decide to support one of those particular programs. Again, the information below is how you can support YAMA in the efforts to continue to build power and support the Yemeni American community here in New York City. So we're now going to play the video and you get to check out what YAMA is all about. Again, couldn't be possible without all of the sponsors, but we also need the incredible support from individuals like you all out here watching. So we're going to play the video and then we'll see you in a little bit. All right, so you guys saw the incredible work YAMA does, and if there's anything, like I said, that you found most inspiring or incredible, we encourage you to support the efforts at YAMA. I also wanted to quickly, oh, sorry about that, technical difficulties. I just want to quickly recognize 3 more recipients for the scholarships who were not able to join us. So we have Afaf Ulay, Malak Yafi, and Zulfa Qaid. Those are the 3 of the young women that were selected for the scholarship ceremony, for the scholarship award. And they weren't able to join us, but we are obviously still very proud of them, and we are glad to stand with them and support them every step of the way. So with that, I'm going to pass it to my friend Maadi to introduce the final part of the program. I promise you, we are done. We promise to try to keep this an hour and a half, and we are very, very close to that. So I'm not trying to waste any more seconds. I'm going to pass it back to Maadi to wrap up our program.
Thank you, Brahim. So once again, think about that amazing video. What inspired you most, and put your money to it, right? So YAMA, any organization cannot do the amazing work they do without some kind of financial assistance. And with a lot of these organizations, that comes directly from the people that they serve. So please, be generous, dig deep into your pockets, and whatever you can contribute, the links are below. And finally, to close off, we have Naji Al-Muntasir, YAMA board member, to thank everyone for attending.
That was a wonderful program. Thank you very much for our MCs. The video that we saw about YAMA and YAMA's work, every time I see it, I choke. I really do. As you could see, it was all young people, old people, from all, not only Yemeni folks, but from every nationality, every ethnic group. What's important, and you saw all the work that we're doing here. Just one last push for our brothers and sisters, anybody that's watching, please take a minute, give something that you can afford to help us continue our work. And YAMA's work is, it says Yemeni American Merchant Association, but you know what? That's the name, but the feeling and the heart is for everybody. If anybody needs any help, anybody needs an assistance, we're there. Yeah, there's nothing to talk about. And so for us, YAMA, it's a family. It's actually one of the best boards I truly have, ever served on. I mean, hands down. The chairs don't matter. The titles don't matter. When somebody, volunteers to do something, the whole board supports them all the way. And our staff, our staff are amazing. When we sit down on meetings and they have something to say, or, some ideas, or their point of view on certain issues or certain programs or certain events, we listen to them as if they're a board member, because, their voice is just as important as my voice. They see things better, from a view better than I can see it. So I just want to say thank you to our board. You're amazing. We love you. We're going to be here to support you all the way. And yeah, we're looking for new leaders to take on this phenomenal organization and move it forward. We're going to, we'd love to step back and put somebody else, to push forward. I just want to highlight some of the things that we did, this past year. New York Cares. Amazing organization. Absolutely amazing. They were there for almost 20 weeks. 11, 12 of them every single week. And there were 6 of them that were consistent. Every single week they would come, and they would come early and they would stay late. And sometimes I got to tell them, I got to close the door. You got to go. And I just want to say thank you to all those volunteers. Angelo, brother, you're the best. Also, what I want to remind everybody is, when food was scarce and, and we were giving out food pantries, YAMA gave out 2,500 food pantries a week in 5 different locations and 3 different boroughs. And we did this for 20 weeks. That's close to about 500,000. That's close to about 500,000 boxes. And they were halal boxes. Now, I want to thank the mayor and his administration for being there and, and listening to what we need and when we need it. And I think it's amazing. And all the elected, you saw the pictures, you saw the videos and the pictures. We have, Eric Adams, the board president. We had Justin Brennan, who was the city councilman. We had Assemblyman Charles Fall from Staten Island come and volunteer. We had so many councilmen, so many assemblymen. It's very hard for me to remember them, but I want to thank all of them. Robert Carroll, Robert Cornegie, and Felix Ortiz, and so many more. I just want to say thank you to all of them for coming and helping us give out the food. It's important when you get elected officials come out and spend their time and handing out the food with a smile to people to reassure them that, you know what, you elected me, yes. And not just for that seat and that's it. And I'll see you in 3 years or 2 years or 4 years later so I can ask you for another seat. That's not the way it goes. When you're elected to a seat to support folks, you got to come out there and meet them and greet them. And they did a great job. So I just want to say thank you to all of the elected officials. Thank you for the staff. And, also thank you to Beledi. Beledi did a great job. They gave us, at the times that it was rough in Ramadan, they gave us some cards, some gift cards, an amazing amount of gift cards, amazing amount of canned goods. Also, the other, superstar for us is Saba Live Poultry. I was there with them. They gave over 30,000 fresh chicken that they gave out. Over 50,000 dozen eggs. Yemen Cafe, over 20,000 meals that I know of that went to police precincts, firehouses, emergency rooms, hospitals, all over the city, not just in Brooklyn. So, the Yemeni community is there. We give from the heart, and and we want to continue. So, please just remember to donate, and thank you for Ibrahim for coming all the way from Michigan. He's the youngest the youngest person ever probably elected, and he's a Yemeni, 26 years old. And he was our executive director. So he's an amazing fellow, and I'd like to see what he's going to do the next 3, 4, 5 years, and others like him. So brothers and sisters, young and brothers and sisters that are want to go into the field, here's your example. You can do it, and we're here to help you. Any way that we can. We're here for you, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and thank you. I mean,
I also want to do a big shout out to the staff for all of their hard work. I want to thank Digital Marksman for helping us with the technology in the background. And I want to thank our two MCs, Ibrahim and Maali. Thank you so much. And all the people who are viewing tonight. I also just want to remind you, this is an opportunity to support a very important organization here in New York City. All of the information, the Zelle, the PayPal, the Cash App, all of it is there. You can donate at our website. Every penny that you donate will go to the services that we are providing the Yemeni American community and all of our neighbors. We turn no one from our door, no matter what religion you are, what culture or race you are, all are welcome to get services. So thank you all, and we look forward to seeing you, inshallah, next year.
Thank you once again for joining us tonight. It was a great honor to MC this wonderful event. Again, as Naji had mentioned, Abe was executive director of this great organization, and now he's the first young state rep, right? So this just kind of shows what kind of people this organization creates and supports and trains, right? And what kind of work they do. So again, please, if you have not contributed, the links are down below. If you can't do that now, just take the Zelle, the PayPal information, and whenever you're able to contribute, go ahead and contribute. I'd like to thank everyone that joined us today. Again, thanks again to all the elected officials that joined us. Congratulations to all the honorees, all the scholarship recipients, and have a great night.